सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति। Page 314. Before going to the today's topic, just very brief tell what has been told yesterday. The opponent says the Atman is the agent of knowing, but this agentship has been said it is secondary, it is Gauna, because Brahman is not depending on anything, and he is omniscient and he is everywhere. That's why the doership or the creation that has been told that the creator is the God, it is used in secondary meaning. So, and then he says, by giving the attributes, Brahman is indicated, but it cannot be expressed through words. And there is important sentence which I feel, the page 310, the second para, you can go through. The words, truth, etc., each remaining in proximity to other, mutually guiding and becoming guided, become instrumental in distinguishing Brahman from other things, expressed by the words, truth, etc., and for defining it. It is just for defining the Brahman and to separate it from all other things, and it is only for defining. These words are used. So, the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, they indicate Brahman, though there are no attributes. Finally, we have to say it is existing. It is the absolute existing. It is absolute existence, we can say. Next, he says that particular Brahman is hidden in your intellect. Nihitam sthitam guhayam. And in your heart there is space, that is unmanifested space. In that, the Brahman is there. So, though Brahman is all pervading and it is everywhere, where you will experience it? In your heart. Suppose you are meditating here, You are not going to find Brahman on the banks of the sea. Fine. Is not? That's why he says it is hidden here. And the Akshara, that is imperishable, unalterable, indestructible, in that the space is, or the space is pervaded by that Akshara, indestructible, imperishable. Naksharati, it is never perishable, that is Atman. So the space is pervaded or is the space is superimposed, we can say, because even before creation, only Brahman is there. Sadeva somi idam agre asit. So kamayata bhosya prajaya. Only that was alone there, and he desired to create it. Why? To give the fruits of the actions of the individual souls. Not that he is having anything. And it is, you see, for Brahman, effortless creation. If you want to get something, you have to work hard in this world. But for him, just he thinks everything happens. Effortless. For a rat, it is a life and death problem. But for a cat, it is a sport. So, for Brahman, it is effortless. That's why he says, all these things are, say, all these five elements, subtle or grass, everything is superimposed on that. And this heart, he says, the space in the heart is a part of meditation. Upasananga, where you have to meditate in your heart. So, in that space, because we experience the Supreme Brahman, not in other places. And manasasya indriyanam aikyagram tapaha. If you are able to control your senses and mind, then the mind is concentrated. So with that mind, if you think of the self, you are released. So what is austerity? To control the senses and the mind. And see, those who have visited India, they will understand, you see, what I am saying. The Ganges, they started in Himalayas, a small canal, Gomukh, even beyond Gangotri. And it flows down. So many other rivers merge in it, Alakananda, Mandakini, all these things. Then finally it flows to Varanasi and goes to sea. Now if somebody thinks Ganges has started in Himalayas, so this water is coming from Himalayas to Ganga Sagar. I wanted to carry the water of the Ganga Sagar to the Himalayas. Is it possible? It is not possible. In the same way, since the creation has started, we are here. So it is only going down and down and down and down. Now what you want to do? You want to be one with the cause. That means just like carrying the water of the Ganga Sagar, which is merging in the sea, to the Himalayas. There, of course, it is not possible. Here it is possible because everything is within you. That's why in all the Shastras they say you have to control your sense organs and mind. Because all through your previous lives you are extrovert, your senses are going out. That's why in Katha Upanishad they say Kaschid Dhira, man of full discrimination, wise man, intellectual. He alone diverts all his senses, introvert he makes senses. Then he will be able to realize his own self. That's why here it is said, through the activity of the intellect you can perceive Brahman. Now, in the beginning it is told Brahmavidapnoti Param. And after experiencing, what happens? That he told he enjoys all the desires in one moment, becoming one with the Almighty. If you go to other portions of the Taittiriya, there they have described about this bliss, highest bliss, how much. Starting from the man, then gods, then Indra, like this it takes. So the highest happiness, that is, who is all pervading through the sky, through the stars, planets, everything is all pervading. In Gita it is described about the Virat Swarupa, the combined form of all the gross bodies is called Virat. And beyond that is combined body of all the subtle bodies. Sutratma, Hiranyagarbha, we call. Above that is Ishvara, who has taken the help of Maya, illusion to create. That one Ishvara is ruling all these things, all these Brahmandas, universes, even the Sutratman, even that Virat. After Virat, first in the line Brahman, then Brahman plus Maya is Ishvara, then Sutratman, Hiranyagarbha, then Virat. From Virat, all these gods have been created. When the Virat created all the gods, they asked where we have to stay. He just show us a dwelling place. Gods asked. Then he has created man, including all other creatures. When all the gods saw man, oh, Sukudam Bada, very good, you have done nice thing. So then God asked, you enter with your say power. So Agnir Vag Bhutva Mukham Pravishat. The goddess of fire has entered into the speech, etc., etc. So they have all entered. But still, these gods are afraid of demons. With demons, nothing but the bad thoughts which we are possessing. And the good thoughts are demons. Then when God asked, we wanted to overcome the demons, we wanted to be no one. God said, all right, the sense organs are 10, each deity, and the mind 11. Plus, we are having vital force. The god of breeze or god of air, whatever you may call. So 12 gods are. So the Almighty gave 12 mantras, which we chant daily. Asato ma satyam etavaso ma jyotim. Like this 12 mantras he gave. You chant these mantras and you will overcome. They accepted and they thought, you see, instead of 12 of us sitting in one place and chanting, we will make one as our agent and he will chant for us. All right. So, all the 11 gods, they were made agent and they failed. Why? Because they chanted 3 mantras for all people and 9 mantras for their own self. They have become, so selfish, the gods. That is why they were won over by the demons. These 11 sense organs and their deities, they are all, that's why they are, because they were struck by the sin, they are extrovert. Ears want to hear the bad than good, more they want. The same wise, mind also thinks. They all have become extroverted senses. Why? Because of the mistake done by the gods in the beginning, they become so selfish. Then finally, to win over the demons, they made this Vayudeva, god of breeze, god of air, father of Hanuman, you may call, the vital force, whichever you may call. Then he chanted all the 12 mantras for all people. So demons could not win over him. And then the powers were given back to all the gods. That is why the sense organs are extrovert. Because of the mistakes of the presiding deities done in the beginning of the creation. See. So now what we have to do? We have to control them. That is the austerity. One has to do. Control the senses. Whichever you take, just they say control the senses, control the mind. This is the highest limits. By controlling, by overcoming the senses, then only you will be able to concentrate. And in Kathopanishad also, you know well, the body is compared to a chariot and the Atman is the owner of the chariot, etc., etc. So now what happens? We have to go slowly above all the gods, then Virat, then Sutratman, then Ishvara, and go beyond, which is all pervading Brahman. So the realized person becomes one with that Brahman. Until and unless you are united with that, you are not realized. Even if you become one with the Hiranyagarbha, the combined form of all the subtle bodies, you are in Brahmaloka. That is a punishment for a saint. So don't hanker for anything. Go beyond. You have to go beyond Ishvara. Ishvara is the ruler of all the universes, but still he is having an adjunct Maya, illusion. Here we are having ignorance. Both are one. You have to overcome the ignorance. Ignorance is nothing but I am the body, I am the sense awareness, I am the mind, etc. You have to become. When you overcome all these things and become one with your own self, then you are one with Brahman. Then what he enjoys, the absolute bliss, that you enjoy staying in this body. See, that is the combined joy of all the human beings in all the universes and all the gods, all the saints, everything combined. This fellow enjoys in his heart. That is highest bliss. So that happens, he says, he enjoys all what he desires. He has identified with the omniscient Brahman, and he is not enjoying these things like a ordinary human being depending on merit or demerit. There is no cause for him, or nor he is depending on the sensory organs or the mind or the merit, anything, because he is the eternal self of all. Sarvatmatvat. So what has been aphoristically told by Brahmana portion has been explained by the mantra, samhita, whatever you may call. So determine the meaning. Now, that is just the aphorism what they told is Brahma Vidapnoti Param. Now to explain in detail, further comment has been started. Tasmad Vaye Tasmad Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha. See. So Brahman is truth, knowledge, infinite. Now the question, how he has become infinite? So what is this infinity? He says because it is beyond time, space and substance. Time is kala, space is akasha and substance is vastu. Desha kala vastu aparichinam. It is not limited by the time or the space or the substance, because it is the cause of time, space and the substances. See, that is why we say the Brahman is infinite. And then it is not produced, it is there by itself, even before creation and during the sustenance, and then even after delusion. So you can say these are the waves that come and perish, this creation.
Beginning with the word Tasmat Vaye Tasmat. Where is it?
That is in page number 313. We have not started that one. We have to start. It will come. come. Or it is over or what?
I don't know, that's my
Sarvam Paryatam Sutritam Vyakyatam Brahmeti Mantrada Kasam Satyam Kapitam Sarvantamaste Patanjali. Where from I have taken this from that? This one you see in 313. The first portion of the Sanskrit, last sentence. Grandha arabhyate tasmad va ye tasmad ityadi.
Here he says that it is a quotation of somewhere else.
That it will come, you see, tasmad va ye tasmad atman akasha sambhuta. That is in the original text.
This is in the mantra.
So this tasmad and ye tasmad, these two words, that will come. So to tell that one only, this commentary has started. It says, Atmana Akasha Sambhutaha. So Brahman is not produced, it is there. Now, when I say the sea and waves, I remember something. Suppose you are superimposing a snake on the rope and you say that snake is not there. You agree? Not in the present, not in the future, not in the past. Snake is not there. All right, very good. But at times what you do, you are superimposing on the matter that particular Atman. Say, you never say, I have superimposed on the Atman the mind. But on the body you are superimposing the consciousness. Now, whatever is superimposed is unreal. Suppose on the mind, which is matter, in the beginning what happened? Consciousness is there. On that you have superimposed the mind, body and senses. So they are unreal. Very good. Now you do the reverse. You superimpose the Atman on the mind, senses and body. Then whatever is superimposed should become unreal. Do you understand the question? When you superimpose the matter on the consciousness, it is becoming unreal, very good. But if you superimpose Atman on the matter, the Atman should become unreal, but it is not becoming unreal. Why? That is the question. See, there are, the superimposition is divided into many parts. Swarupadhyasa, samsargadhyasa. Listen. The two things are one, and that is, another thing is, its form has been superimposed. Now if you say, you have superimposed Atman on this body, and the Atman is not becoming unreal, still it is there. Why? So take the example of the sea. The waves and all other things belongs to the sea, because they were created from that. But taking a single wave, you cannot tell that is the sea. Take some part of the body, a finger or a hand, and you cannot tell this is man. Though it is having the connection with the body, It is not having form of the body. So this form is called Swarupa, just like Swarupanand. Swarupa is not there. When you superimpose the Atman on the body, there is no Swarupa. Though there is connection is there. Samsarga is there. That is why when we say superimposition, even in other way, even if you superimpose the consciousness on the matter, the consciousness never becomes unreal. Because Swarupa is not there, though samsarga is there. You cannot tell a particular part of the body as full body, though it is connected with the body. That is something about superimposition. Now, let us go with the second para of the 330 page.
Maybe there is a question.
I don't understand. Can you repeat?
You are little dosing what to do. You are going to Samadhi. So be alert. See, there are two types of superimposition. Adhyasa. One, on the Atman, you are superimposing the mind, senses and body. And these things we are telling they are unreal. So far so good. Just like you have superimposed a snake on the rope and telling the rope is not there, it is unreal. But if you superimpose on the mind and the senses and the body, Atman you are superimposed. First what you did, on the Atman you have superimposed, but on the matter you are superimposing the Atman. You say, I am full of consciousness. My body is Atman. Then the question is, why then this the superimposed thing should be unreal? But if you superimpose Atman on other matter, it is not becoming unreal. Why? That is the question. That's why I gave the example. You see, the whole body and a part of the body. Taking a part of the body, you cannot tell this is the body, human body. Take only hand and say, you can tell this belongs to the human body. So to belongs is called, it is having samsarga, it is having connection. But Swarupa, the form is not there. In the hand, the full form of the body is not there. In the same way, the full form of Atman is not single body. That's why if you superimpose Atman on the matter, it never becomes unreal. As the snake has become unreal. Followed?
Atman doesn't have a form.
Huh?
Atman doesn't have a form.
It is not, but you are superimposing on the matter. You are telling. First you have superimposed on the Atman. Just that's why in the beginning I told the opponent asks, when a thing is there, then only you can superimpose. And Atman is not having any form, no attributes. How you are superimposing? That is the question. Then he says, just like the space. In the space we are seeing the blueness, and it is just like a form of bow, whatever you may call. And at times so many clouds and so much of dust we see. Sky is dusty, we say. These things we are superimposing, though there is no form for the sky. And again I told you, another thing you should remember always, only one thing is there. That's why I gave the example, the pit. What is there in a pit? Space. and water was collected, and in the collected water, the pit space is there, water was collected, and again the space is reflected. So everywhere Atman is there, because of the actions, mind is formed, and in the mind it is reflected, and you are telling, I am, so and so. So that is superimpose itself, we can say. It's not true. In the example, we see the silver and the mother pearl. When we wanted to take, we won't get. If it is not there, we should not see. If it is there, we should take it. But we see, we cannot take it. That is called mithya. Another example I will give you. Mithya, the unreality. We know small boys. We give him a toy. Say the toy is having just like a good vehicle. So he plays with it. And after a few days, he takes away all the parts. The steering, driver, and the machine, and the upper head, and the wheels, everything is separated. Now if you ask him, where is your toy? There is no more toy. None. So in the same way, here the all elements are combined in a particular portion, and you are able to see this matter. You separate and see what is there from this body, all the 5 elements. Nothing is there. So, the combined things, which elements we see, are combined portion, they are, that's why when you unreal, that is why one should have the discrimination. Today morning also I started with the help of discrimination and dispersion. What is real, what is other? If it is real, this body should be there with you permanently. Without asking you, without telling you, it leaves you, and your mind also is flying without asking you, going on, jumping and jumping like a monkey. You want to control it, it's going out of your control. Why? Something is there behind it. That is called consciousness. That is why the Vedanta says that everything is superimposed. When you go into deep meditation, when you are within yourself, you don't find anything outside what is going on. You are within yourself. That is called controlling the mind and senses, and concentrating the mind and thinking of our own self. This is the gist of Vedanta. Now we come to the second para of 313. ग्रंथ आरभ्यते तस्माद् वा ये तस्माद् इत्यादि. सत्यम ज्ञानम अनंतम ब्रह्म इत्युक्तम मंत्रादौ. कथम सत्यम ज्ञानम अनंतम च? He told it is truth, it is full of knowledge, and it is absolute, unlimited. How is that? Then he says, त्रिविधम ही आनंत्यम देशत कालत वस्तुतश्च. So he says, as regards that infinitude, is of 3 kinds: space, time and substance. So the Brahman is not bound by any space. It is beyond space because it is the creator of the space, it is cause of the space. And After creation, time has started. So he is beyond time. And he is dwelling in everywhere, in every substance. That's why he is infinitude. The space is infinitude, but the space has been created. Tasmad vaye tasmad atmana akasha sambhuta. Space has been created. Now you see, you take a pot and put it below the tap. What is there in the pot? Space is there. In that you are adding water, you are filling water. And in that again you can add something else, say some sugar or something. But they are all there in one pot. In the same way, on this one Brahman, first it has space is superimposed, and then air, and then fire. So where are all these things? Only they are in Brahman. That is why these fire god and the air god, they are not having their own power. In the end you chant, Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. Because of the power and light of that consciousness, everything is working. Is it not? So he is the creator of the time, space, etc. and he is the cause for all. That's why he is not limited, he is infinite. Karya bhi vastu kalena parichidyate. Created thing is becoming limited. And he has never become the effect. Effect which we are seeing is imaginary. That's why akaryanja brahma tasmas kato asya ananta. Vastuta, even from the standpoint of the substance, it is infinite because he is pervading in all the substances. That's why again and again I say, Asti Bhati Priyam. And Nama and Rupa, the name and form are changing. And changing thing is not unreal. Suppose you give a word to a particular person, and afterwards if you say, no, I have not told, I don't want to do this work. That fellow says, oh, I don't want to believe this word. Why? Because you have changed. If you tell untruth, nobody likes. See? That's why one should stick to the truth, because he is truth by core, existence. That is called Satyam. If you stick to that, the truth, in the relative plane, you can add, you can very easily realize the absolute, because you are sticking to truth. In all the times, in all the places, with all the persons. That is, your behavior is something around the truthfulness. That's why, because he is all pervading in all the substances, he is infinite. Bhinnam vastu vastantarasya anto bhavati. Two different things becomes limited. And even in the mind, again he gives the example, you are thinking of something and you are seeing something. And if you change, you are seeing something else. What you have seen, that has gone. And again you are seeing something. So these things are limited. That what he says here. वस्तुंतर बुद्धिर्हि प्रसक्ताद वस्तुंतरान निवर्तते यतो यस्य बुद्धिर निवृत्ति स तस्य अंतः. So if the idea is changed, it is the end of that particular idea. Just like he says, the cowhood becomes detached by the notions of falsehood. When you are thinking a cow, you cannot think of the horse. If you start thinking of a horse, the thinking of cow is gone. So it is the end. But these things happen in a limited thing. So Brahman is not limited by these substances, as your mind is limited. So limitations is observed in different objects, but is there in every object? Is there in every object. That is why there is no such difference, hence it is infinite. Even from the view of point of the substance, it is infinite. So, from the space, from the time and from the substance, these are limited. But Brahman is not limited by even these things. That's why he says infinite. And the beauty is that infinite bliss is within you and you are that. And having such a bliss within you, and if you are not able to realize what is the use of this life, you are having Brahmavasan Brahmapyeti. At least you should try for it. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Now, in trying in this sense, I will tell you, you must have heard the story of Ajamila. You heard. So, in the beginning he was a very good person, but afterwards he became attached to a woman and started earning the money in bad ways and protecting the children and family. So one day some saints have visited his house. When they say this man is fully worldliness, completely merged in worldliness. So how he can be liberated? That's why they told, a son will be born to you. You give him the name Narayana. And this fellow is very attached, very much attached to the son. So on the deathbed, he sees all the servants of Yamdharmaraja, the god of death has come to take away. Then out of fear, he just calls Narayana. Because Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajet tyante kalevaram. So calling Narayana he passed it. Then the servants of Narayana also has come. Then there was a big quarrel. He has called his son, he has not called your Lord, why you wanted to take him away? Then they say, see, the name Narayana is from the beginning of the creation. So, whoever utters that, he gets that power from that name. And our Lord is the owner of this name, not your Lord. Because from the creation he is Narayana, and he has uttered. So in the same they take him away. And afterwards, slowly, he has diverted his mind from the worldliness to the spirituality. So after so many births, he has realized progress. In the same way, there is a saying, Kasyan Maranan Mukti. One, those who leave the body in Kashi, they get realization. Because for each dead body, Lord Shiva initiates. So with that initiation, he may be a bad person. Because of the initiation, he goes on chanting the name, and during other births, coming births, he is purified and he realizes slowly. That's why Swalpam Apyasya Dharmasya. If you start a thing in a worldly thing, and if you give up, you won't get the results. But here it is not like that. Even if you do a little of your own self, even if you remember, that merit goes with you. It helps you a lot. That's why here we say it is infinite and that is within you. You should remember it as much as possible. Katham punha sarva ananyatvam brahmanityuchyate. Why it is not different from all these substances? Because he says he has created all these things. A sun, a moon, all the stars cannot be created by a human being. Somebody is there who has created all these things. So in the same way, created in the sense, from the point of view of an ignorant person, as if they are created, but a man of discrimination, these are Supreme Court. See the difference. Man of discrimination and man of ignorance. So the ignorant man says he has created, I have to pray to him, I have to get this thing, that thing, then only I will be happy. And what in Gita says, for an ignorant person it is all right. Gita says dukkhalaya mahanashvatam. It is full of sorrow and it is not real. And it is something like that. Going to a bookshop and asking medicine. And you go to a medical shop and ask some books, I want Gita. You won't get. So this is dukkhala, coming here, and if you ask happiness, you won't get in the world. Everything is within. See? So that is the difference between a discriminating person and an ignorant person. He feels that this is real. That's why he works for this art. Whereas a man of knowledge who is having discrimination and dispassion never bothers. Asocyanano sochastam pragyabhadas bhasegata sunagatam sochantam. Never bothers. That's why he says, Sarva Vastu Karanatvat. He is the cause of all the created things. And he is everywhere. He is all pervaded. That's why he is infinite. And even he is the cause for the time. कार्यापेक्षया वस्तुतो अंतवत्तमिच्छे न अनुतत्वात् कार्यवस्तुनः. He says because he has created all these things, we may call him as unreal. See, a created thing is unreal. But thing that which is not created, which is there by itself, it cannot be unreal. That is real. Then created things is yat kutakam tadanityam. That's what they say in logic. Whatever is created, it has to perish. Na bhava vidyate sada. Nasato vidyate bhavo. For an unreal thing, there is no existence. For a real thing, there is no perishability. It never perishes. By it is there already that you are by nature, you are that. Nahi karana vyatirekena karinam usno asti. Besides the cause, there is no effect, he says. Because if you take a part, though part seems to be an effect, only mud is there in the part. Though all the human beings are created, in the core only consciousness is there. Vacharamana vikara namadhe mutikev satyam. So this whole world is just with name and form to utter only. That's why Sadeva Satyam, Sadeva Somita Bhagra Asi. Even before creation, it is only that reality is there. Nothing else is there. So because he is the cause for our space, etc., and because he is pervading in all the substances, he is infinite. Deshataha. Akasho hi ananta iti prasiddham deshataha. Space, they say it is infinite, and he is the cause for that space. That is why even he is beyond the space and it is only the real thing. Deshataha atmana anantyam. So he is, because he is everywhere, in everything has been created, and there is nobody to create him. This you should remember. He is the creator of all the things. There is no other body, no other to create him. Then, if there is somebody to create him, and again, that who is created, and like that it goes, anavastha, no ending. That's why sarvagatam utpadyamanam loke kinchit drishyate. From infinite has been not created. From the infinite, the finite things are created. Nirdhaya atmana anantyam jesha tatha karyatvat kalataha. So, from the standpoint of substance, from the standpoint of time, he is infinite. Tad bhinna vastu anantara bhavat. And nothing is different from it. You cannot see a particular thing without the existence. What is existence? Existence is Brahma. That's why we say existence, knowledge, this absolute. Tasmaditi moola vakya sutitam brahma paramushite. Now your question is coming. Tasmaditi moola vakyam sutitam brahma. Tasmad va tasmad atmana akasha sambhuta tasmad. It is in the original text. Yetatmaditi mantra vakyena anantaram yatha lakshitam. Tasmad, tasmad. So tasmad is in the original text, and etasmad is mantra vakyam. Tasmad is brahmana vakyam, mantra vakyam is etasmad. From that, yad brahma adav brahmana vakyena sutitam iti satyam jnanam anantam brahma. The brahmana portion it is told, it is truth, full of knowledge, and it is all pervading. Anantarameva lakshitam tasmad etasmad brahmana atmana akasha. Atma Sabdat, Atmana Akasha Sabdat. From that. So, first it was told Tasmat, from that Brahman. What is that Brahman? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. From that, which you call as Atman, this space has been created. Now, in the further commentary, he will be explaining all the 5 seeds. Annamaya, Prana, Pranamaya, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Vijnana, all these things he will be telling. Atma hi tat sarvasya tat satyam sa Atma. We have to say, Atman alone abides, it is only the existing thing. Even in the relative plane or in the absolute plane. Now, say, we are not in dream state, we are in waking state. The Brihadaranyaka says, even in your waking state, you are experiencing the Brahman, not only in the dream and in the deep sleep. How? If you touch the body of a living person, you feel little heat. If you touch the body of a dead person, it is cold. So where from this heat has come? From the vital force. Where from this vital force has come? Atmana Akasha Samvata Akashat Vayu. If you keep milk, so are you able to see the butter in it? No. But if butter is there or not? It is there. You have to boil the milk, you have to make it curd and then you get the butter. So what is this vital force? It is not different from the Almighty because it is not different. It is working all through the day, 24 hours. And from the beginning of the life of each and everybody till death, it never takes rest. If it takes rest in the middle for 2 minutes, this is how it is having so much power, you see. Where from it has come? Because a man can do 24 hours work and all through the life. But you see, and whatever you give to this vital force, it distributes. It is not selfish. Like the gods. The gods are so selfish. They go and ask the Dichi, a living person, you give your bones, we have to make the astras. See how selfish they are. But see this vital force. Whatever you give, it just distributes to all over the world. Samana. And it never asks you anything. You give it, takes, then distributes. And working all through the day, all through the life. So that you feel in the living body, in the waking state. So that is not different from. And if you close your ears, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutta Praninam Deham Asuddha, you can see that the Vaishvanara fire which is working in your stomach. You close your eyes and close your ears and hear the sound. What is that sound? It is the fire god which is within you. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutta Praninam Deham Asuddha. That is the fire. Atmana Akasha, Akasha Vayor, Agni. So even in your waking state, you are able to experience the highest. Only you should use your discrimination intelligence. Then only you can feel. That's why the easy way to please the mind is to see that God is everywhere, in everything, and act accordingly. Tat satyam sa atma. So it is the real and it is Atman. Tasmad tasmat brahmana atma swarupat akasha sambhutara. The space has been created. Now he has started adhyaropa. Afterwards he goes apavad. Just suppose if a man says, what is Atman? How do you explain? Then you see, the Atman is consciousness. On this, all these things are superimposed. And if you remove all these things, whatever remains, that is Atman. So first, for an ignorant person, we have to superimpose. Adhyaropa it is called. Then apavada remove. It is not, it is not. That's why in Murta Brahmana, neti neti, not this, not this. The Atman is not the gross elements, the Atman is not subtle elements. So wherefrom we have removed all these things, that is the consciousness. That alone is real and it alone exists. Isn't it? That's why it is told infinity. Now he is explaining the creation of all these things. So now he is explaining the creation of all the elements. First, he says, Atman Akasha Sambhuta, space. And what is space? It is endowed with the attribute of sound, and which creates space for all the things possessed of forms. What is space? It creates space, that which is having a form. That is called Akasha. And then from that, now, they say, Akasha Bhutapanna Paramatmanaha Vayu Utpanam. That means the Atman itself has changed into space, and from the Atman, which has taken the form of the space, this air is created. That is Akasha Rupapanna Paramatma, Vayu Rupapanna Paramatma. Though from the absolute point we say it has been superimposed, the Atman is not changing. Changing factor is illusion. Changing factor is illusion. So, it is all pervading, Atman. In that, through illusion, Air has been created, space has been created, fire has been created, then water, then earth, sea. And what is changing? Illusion is changing. And Atman is not changing. That's why, according to the Vedantic terms, it is called Vivarta Upadana Karanam Atma. It never changes. It stays as it is. Parinami Upadana Karanam Maya. What is changing? Now, when we go to the example, the rope is as it is never changing. Because of the ignorance which is within you, because of the fear which is within you, you are able to see the snake there. Actually, snake is not there. Where is the snake? It is within. That is called Maya, that is called ignorance. In the same way, due to this ignorance, he says you are seeing the world, which is superimposed. But in the relative plane, though we know the snake is not there, only rope is there, that much of knowledge will not remove your ignorance. It has removed the ignorance of the snake or the rope, that's all. So the ignorance which is within you, to remove that, you have to cleanse your mind. And you should meditate on that consciousness and become one with it. That's why here he has started telling the creation. From the viewpoint of the ignorant persons, this has been created. And again he says, Tat Sushtva Tadevana Pravishat. He has created this world and he has entered, he says. How is it possible? When you are all pervading, how can you enter? As if it has entered. So that's why first they tell about the superimposition. Now this is what we have studied so far. The whole this Valli is just the explanation of that comment. That's why we need not pay much attention because it is only everything is creation. But when we come to the each sheet, say Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Ananda, these are our sheets. So this Atman is inside these things. And it is giving light and energy and consciousness for all these sheets. So as if they are working with you because of the presence, which is with you. So finally he says this, you have to remove the Andame Kosham Upasankramati. He has gone beyond this Andame Kosha. Then he has become one with the bliss. All these things he will do. Now he says about the space. It creates space for all things, that is called Akasha. And Akasha was produced, from Akasha air is produced, possessed of true attributes, its own attribute and the touch. What is its own attribute of Akasha? Sound and touch are in the air. And its cause, sound. And the verb produced is to be supplied to all. From air was produced the fire. It is having three attributes. Its own attribute, that is, and from the two of the air and the Akasha. So fire burns. And from the fire, water is produced from the water at this point. So this is now these elements are unmanifested elements. Apanchikruta. Then they become combined, they become the gross elements. Now if you go to chemistry, they say what is water? H2O. Two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen, which is air. If you combine it, becomes water. There is no form in the air. But if it when it becomes water, it is having form. See? And if the water solidifies, it becomes ice. So in the same way, here you see that which is formless has taken the form. That is why Vedanta says, the God is the biggest magician and all are deluded. So once when you become aware, you can remove this ignorance and you become one with him. That's why the creation here started. Sava yesha purusho anna rasamayo anna rasavikaraha. Again, after creating all these elements, he says, Pruthivyam Voshadayaha, all the herbs and all the foodstuffs have been formed, and from the food, this grass body is formed. See? So elements, from the elements, all these herbs, etc. And from that, again this grass body. And because of the food it increases. In the same way, the mind is getting the power of thinking, etc. If you feed it, in Chandogya, if you go, the food which you are taking is divided into 3 portions. The grass one, which becomes fecal matter and you leave it. The middle portion becomes anna rasa. The juice is becoming the blood. Blood is becoming the fat. And then all the muscles. Then it becomes bone and marrow. And finally, this blood. So, this anna or the juice of the anna rasa has taken these forms, is changing. That is, the food which you have taken, the middle portion has become the blood itself. And the final portion feeds the mind. So if you don't take food, you cannot think. Even for one day, if you forego food and start meditation early morning, next day, mind is completely attached to the body and you cannot meditate. Because you are not having this turn. You have not fed the mind. So what is mind? Mind is nothing but matter. So don't run behind that. Now he is telling about the grass body. Anna rasamayaha, anna vikaraha, purushakriti bhavitam, hi sarvebhyo, angebhya teja sambhuta reto bijam. So, this vigor that is taken from this, all the body, it is becoming sperm, he says. That's why I told the Anna rasa changes first into the blood to fat, fat to muscles, and then bone, marrow, and then sperm. To be the shape of the man. Now, tasmad yo jayate so bhi tatha purushakriti, because it has taken the form of a purusha, man. So whatever is born from it also takes the form of the same man. The father and child look alike. That's what it says. Sarva jatishu, in all the species, jayamanam janaka kriti niyama darshana. A lion yields a lion, but not a tiger. Janaka kriti. From a lion you cannot expect a goat to take birth. So that is called Janakakriti, and that is the gross body, Annamaya Kosha. It is called Annamaya Kosha. Sarvesham api annadasa vikaratve Brahma vamshatve cha visishte kasmat purusha eva grihite. See, the whole creation, having so many creatures, they say 84 lakhs of creatures are there, species. Why you have taken only man as an example, he says. The opponent asks. Why you have taken man alone for consideration to describe the Brahman. Brahman has created so many things. Now here, one thing I remember, we think that these are enough things, that there is no consciousness. But according to the chemistry, if you go in detail, as I told you, everything is having a nucleus and electrons are rotating. This is a different thing. But from outside, if you see this is matter, there are mud and these things, this everything. But still consciousness is there. Two examples. Sri Ramakrishna was told by Swami Vivekananda, you are not having the real experience. These are all hallucinations of your mind, he says. Then immediately goes to the forest and stands before a big rock and says, "Oh mother, if my experiences are real, this rock should jump 3 times." He says. Rock jumps. See, because the experience of Sri Ramakrishna are there. And Jnaneshwar, the saint, was sitting early in the morning on a piece of rock, wall. All his 3 brothers and sisters, all 4 of them are there, sitting and they are evincing their tea. So one Changadeva is coming from that side. His age is 1400 years. And he is riding on a tiger. So these people, they see. Then what Jnanadeva did? On a wall they are sitting, says, "Chal, go, start." The wall started going against the tiger. So we see. That's why you cannot say that consciousness is not here or not there. See, everywhere. You should be able to manifest it. If you are having that power, you can manifest it. And it being your own self, it is in your own self, very easy to manifest it. So he says, why you have taken the man? Because of his superiority, he is having the power of discrimination. And he can develop dispassion. These things are not there in any other creature. Even in gods, they are attached to the senses so much. So even Indra has to go to Brahma for realization. No. Or he has to become a man. And again further he explains why a man is taken as an example from all the creatures. Though everything is the transformation of the food. 16. Okay. Rest we will do tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhavini Vyomavad Vyapati
behind you.